Hello, friends! Welcome or welcome back if you're new. If you're also a creative person with a full-time job, you probably understand the struggle of having many projects in mind, but not enough time to complete them. Right now, I'm doing overtime at work because we have a lot to do, and many projects have started to pile up on my to-do list. I thought about making a few extra videos to make time to work on them. But then I thought I could make a video about it. So I decided to draw for 8 hours straight. I started at 9 in the morning, and by my calculation I should have finished around 6 in the afternoon, including about an hour for lunch. For this challenge I used two sketchbooks. The one I use almost daily and the one for urban sketching. I wanted to fill some pages I had skipped in the smaller sketchbook and complete as many pages as possible in my daily one, also recording a few shorts along the way. As you'll notice, I didn't record all 8 hours in full. I tried to frame the clock as often as I could whenever I remembered, but at some point my phone started begging for mercy. It was getting so hot, so every now and then I had to stop filming to transfer the file to my computer, and as an excuse, recharge it a little. Anyway, you won't see all 8 hours, but I did actually draw for 8 hours. I already had a plan for what to draw. I started in my urban sketching sketchbook with an illustration of the Marmore Falls, which I visited this summer. I wanted to draw them live, but it was raining, and the waterfall was spraying a lot of water particles. I was afraid the paper would get ruined or that the colors would mix uncontrollably. So I limited myself to making a pencil sketch. That's what I'm coloring now. Speaking of that visit, it was such a beautiful place. There are many paths to explore within the area, and each has its own charm. We followed three. One very short that led to the central part of the waterfall. One immersed in the wood and more remote, and one made of suspended bridges above the watercourse. The latter was the most scenic, but also the scariest. When we crossed one bridge in particular, I felt like I was about to fall into the waterfall. While waiting for the watercolor to dry, I worked a bit in my main sketchbook. Here I drew flowers and blueberries, choosing lilac tones to match the adjacent page. I love when a double page has a consistent theme. I find it very aesthetic and try to do it every time I can. If you're curious, the creation of the page on the left is already on my channel. I'll leave the link somewhere. You might be wondering why I drew a pack of Sakebon. This is because we had rented an apartment for these 2 days, but we haven't planned for certain expenses. We thought we would eat out, but then we realized the restaurants had terrible reviews and some were even closed, so we rushed to the supermarket and found sakebon, which saved our evening. I decided to include them in this travel diary for the trip. Around 2:40 in the afternoon, I started feeling the fatigue of the challenge. I didn't know what to draw anymore, and the tiredness was setting in. At one point, I pressed the wrong record button, and I wanted to film the creation of a ballerina, but I only recorded the last few minutes. This drove me a bit crazy, so I decided to change things up for a while and record a few shorts. But even then, I felt like I was forcing myself so much, as if I was running out of energy. After about an hour, I decided to return to the schedule I had prepared. I was tempted to quit the challenge. I felt discouraged and almost didn't want to draw anymore. But then I told myself, I won't have any other chances to finish this project. So I decided to do at least one last drawing before stopping. This is a special double page. On the left, there's a urban sketching drawing I started and then abandoned. It shows the island of Chircheo in the distance and some paratroopers taking advantage of the strong wind. When I started it, I wasn't happy with the line art, which is why I left it incomplete. If I did it again today, I'd probably wait to do the line art and try to give it the landscape more depth. On the right, I work on a photo I took during my visit at Nymphea Gardens in Lazio. This garden is amazing. It used to belong to a noble family and has been transformed into a public park. Walking in there feels like stepping into a fairy tale. There are streams, lush plants, and remnants of ancient structures that make it all very atmospheric. During our visit, I took a lot of photos, not only of the landscapes, but also of small details like mushrooms along the way, and inkset and bathhouses. I was struck by the fact that the last heir of the family, Leila, took care of the garden like a living painting, choosing the colors and letting plants grow harmoniously without forcing them. This makes it a truly unique place. I have to say I expected my hand to hurt during this challenge, but it didn't happen. Maybe it's because I mostly use watercolors, which force me to move my hand more fluidly compared to using pencil or pen. I noticed that when I draw with pencils and liners, I tend to grip them too tightly, which then causes pain. With a brush, however, the grip is more relaxed, and my hand gets less fatigue. Does this happen to you too? In the end, this challenge was a positive experience. I struggled toward the end, because I felt like I had run out of ideas and started getting bored. But once it was over, I realized I would still want to draw. Perhaps if I had kept going, I would have ended on a deeper creative flow. Who knows, maybe I'll try this again in the future. On the first page, I drew two photos of my phone gallery on the left, sketching things I had seen during the week. On the right side, I drew two ballerina, both performing Don Quixote, that I wanted to show you but didn't record. Here, I tried to explore a cuter style based on a doodle I had done earlier. I'm trying to find a simplified style to create some comic strips, and I have to say I really like this one. On this page on the left, I glue a coloring sheet and extended the drawings to fill the page, in order to cover the bleed-through from the markers on the other side. On the right, That's the first thing I did, some figure drawing practice. I really like how the lady in the center turned out. I only work on the right side, while on another page I recorded a few shorts. While the phone was charging, I worked on a Zentangle page and did some studies with Copics. The lamppost one is cute, although I made a mistake by putting brown in the middle. Moving on the urban sketching sketchbook, here are the pages for the Nympha Gardens and the Marmori Falls that you already saw me draw. Thank you so much for joining me on this 8-hour drawing challenge. It was definitely a tough ride, with moments of frustration. But I'm so happy I stuck with it and managed to finish all the work I set out to do. This kind of challenge really makes you push your limits and explore your creativity in new ways. If you ever face similar struggle with balancing your creativity and daily life, or if you attempted a challenge like this, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Let's share our experiences. I hope you enjoyed seeing how I managed to keep going, even when I felt like giving up. Sometimes all we need is a little push to remind ourselves why we love what we do. If this video inspired you to try something new or step out of your comfort zone, please let me know. I'd be so excited to hear about your creative journeys. If you like this video and want to see more art challenges, tips, or behind the scenes in my creative process, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you so much for your support. It truly means the world to me. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye!